For November 13th, 2009, this is News Undies, all the news that shouldn't be news. I'm Paul Torville with these headlines. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since the Berlin Wall fell. Why, it seems like only yesterday. Every time Olympic season would roll around, there'd be all these jokes about the East German women's bodybuilding team. Oh, good times. Now, 20 years on, the unified Germany is a thriving, progressive, democratic society. It's been almost 150 years since the USA was reunified. Where did we go wrong? The House of Representatives passed a health care reform bill that topped out at somewhere around 2,000 pages in length. After much wrestling and wrangling, the bill, H.R. 3962, squeaked through by a 5-vote margin, with only one Republican voting for the bill. Senate Republicans seem confident they can stop the bill. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, said the bill was dead on arrival. That's a nice health care metaphor. Nice going, Senator. Robert J. Joe Halderman. Nidal Malik Hassan, the sole suspect in last week's mass shooting at Fort Hood, Texas, has been revealed to be a real delight. Born in Virginia to Palestinian immigrant parents, Hassan enlisted in the Army right after high school and received a bachelor's degree in biochemistry from Virginia Tech, and later went on to medical school, earned his MD, and completed a psychiatry residency at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. But then there was his Quranic worldview presentation in the last year of his residency, the disciplinary action for proselytizing patients and colleagues, the professional talk he gave that devolved into a diatribe against infidels. He's even reported to have told a medical school classmate that he was a Muslim first and an American second. There were other hints which might have, had the dots been connected, pointed to Hassan being, NVTS nuts. But of course, none of this can be blamed on his religion. As you can see, it's a beautiful day, the beaches are open, and people are having a wonderful time. Islam, as you know, means peace. We'll have more after this. Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. I got my cake hat on, let's rock! For Saturday the 14th, Leopold Mozart, Wolfgang's dad, he's dead. Johann von Beethoven, Ludwig's dad, he's dead. Aaron Copland, he's dead. And Sherwood Schwartz. For Sunday the 15th, William Herschel, discovered Uranus, he's dead. Mantovani, that's it, the Madonna of his day, dead. And Ed Asner. For Monday the 16th, W.C. Handy, father of the blues, he's dead. Burgess Meredith, dead, and Missy Pyle. For Tuesday the 17th, Shelby Foote, dead, Peter Cook, dead, and RuPaul. For Wednesday the 18th, Louis-Jacques Daguerre, dead, Alan Shepard, dead, and Rudy Sarzo. For Thursday the 19th, William Russell, from Doctor Who. Larry King, dead, alive, who knows, doesn't matter, and Kathleen Quinlan. And Friday the 20th, Edwin Hubble, dead, Alistair Cook, dead, and Robert F. Kennedy, very, very dead. That's Celebrity Birthdays. I'm Paul Torville, and I'm done! The Vatican, seat of the leadership of the Roman Catholic Church, is now openly acknowledging that it is considering the implications of the possibility of life existing somewhere beyond Earth. While it has taken centuries to emasculate the Church, science has come so far in the last 150 years that now the Church, if it wishes to remain even peripherally relevant, has little choice but to reevaluate its position and its dogma relating to the issues for which people were excommunicated, imprisoned, tortured, and executed in centuries past. Kepler, Copernicus, and Galileo were all severely harassed by the Catholic Church for holding views the Church declared heretical, but which were later proved to be far more accurate depictions of reality than what the Catholic dogma had to offer. Then, of course, there's Giordano Bruno, who was burned at the stake with brutally prescient irony for, among other heresies, positing that there may be other worlds and they may be inhabited. Now, the Catholic Church has made so many concessions to modern science that if it wasn't such a reliable source of punchlines, I'd suggest they pack it in and join the Unitarians. Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Stormtroopers, sorry. SS officers, no wait, no. The KGB, no. A Minneapolis police officer tased a guy back in April. According to the officer's own dashboard camera, Rolando Ruiz was standing calmly with his hands on the hood of the officer's car when the officer approached him from behind and tased him in the back of the neck for about 15 seconds, and seemed to continue tasing Ruiz as he apparently lay on the ground screaming and convulsing. While Ruiz is not completely innocent, he has since pled guilty to a gross misdemeanor relating to the incident which led to his arrest. It's hard not to look at the video and see some sort of abuse of power, maybe? The shooting at Fort Hood has raised the question of whether the act was terrorism. Here are Pig and Sheep with their views. Of course it was an act of terrorism. The guy's a Muslim, right? I mean, if he don't believe in Jesus, he can't be a real American. And if he ain't a real American, he's a terrorist. And if he's a terrorist, then all his acts are acts of terrorism. Praise Jesus. Amen. Woo! The more he talks, the more he worries me. Answering the question of whether it is an act of terrorism depends heavily on how one defines terrorism. It's hard to find a definition which excludes references to religion, ideology, or nationality, yet confines condemnation to our enemies du jour. Does war not cause terror? How do you distinguish between people on side A killing people on side B, or the other way around? If all nations and all people and all faiths are equal in their right to exist, peacefully and free from undue harassment, then it is unreasonable to use traits of circumstance to determine whether one person is a terrorist or another is a patriot. That's what Pig and Sheep think. What are your thoughts? Email them to ovcomments@newsundies.com. Dead comedian George Carlin's autobiography, Final Words, has been released. It's whittled down from 50 hours of taped conversation between Carlin and Tony Hendra, whom you may recall from the National Lampoon or his portrayal of band manager Ian Faith from the early 80s cult classic, This Is Spinal Tap. I would have arranged an interview with Carlin, but as you may have heard, he's dead. Apparently, the must-have toy this year is Zhu Zhu Pet's hamster. It's a little plush toy, almost looks like a tribble with wheels on it. Its biggest selling points seem to be that it doesn't eat, poop, die, or stink. Talk about your lowest common denominator. And it looks like the toy companies have learned a lesson from the inkjet printer makers. The hamster itself can be had for under $10 if you can get one, but the accessories can go as high as $80 or $90. We'll have more after this.
It's Bible Answer Season 1 on DVD! Each set includes all 13 episodes, including outtakes and commentary. Outtakes and commentary! Buy Bible Answer Season 1 on DVD today! Buy our DVD!
Buy Bible Answer Season 1 on DVD today.
Carrie Prejean. Steven Tyler, 60-something frontman for the Boston-based rock outfit Aerosmith, has or may not have left the band. Back in August of this year, Tyler fell off the stage during a performance in South Dakota. The fall injured his head and neck and broke his shoulder. Now there's this very kind of he said, oh no he didn't, step off bitch kind of vibe to the whole whether or not he left thing, which is nice. Lisa Nowak, the astronaut who would not be ignored, has finally made a plea deal in her nearly 3-year-old attempted kidnapping case. Nowak copped to burglary and misdemeanor battery in exchange for a year of probation and 50 hours of community service. Let me tell you something. I did the drive from Texas to Florida. To do it in one shot, in a diaper, you have to be on a serious mission. Like a seeing lights and hearing voices kind of a mission. Woo! Well, that's all for this edition of News Undies. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with a fresh set of News Undies. Until then, I'm Paul Torville. After that, I might be converting to Islam. No.